Hi guys, I'm Madeline Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. We're gonna get into strengthening your vocal cords today. So by the end of today's video, you'll have an understanding of how to strengthen your vocal cords for more consistency and more clarity and more power. So if you like today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. The video that you're about to see was taken as a clip from a live voice lesson that was shot earlier today. If you want to watch the entire live, it's about an hour in length and has many vocal exercises in it. Then I encourage you to click that join button below and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our lives that we shoot every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, just click that join button. It's only $4.99 a month, and your contribution helps to support our channel. That way we can continue to deliver awesome content for you. You ready to get to working out? Here we go. As you know, we are a tight-knit group. We are. So me and my husband, Mike, sift through all of your questions over the course of the week, coming up with what would be the best live based off of what you guys want to learn. So today's live, how to strengthen the vocal cords, comes from Annabelle. Annabelle's been with us for forever, and we're so excited that she's been such a wonderful contribution to our community. So she says, "Hi Madeline, thank you for another great video. I have a suggestion for the next live lesson, cord tension. I've been working on tone, flexibility, agility, and breath support, but cord tension is still a mystery to me. How can I add it to my daily practice? By cord tension, I mean the kind that's intentional, especially in belting, I think. How can we distinguish the good from the bad? Excellent question. Is there something that can be used for grounding higher notes with some elements of chest voice?" So this is such a good, well-rounded question that's also sprinkled with a little bit of popular confusion about cord tension. It addresses belting, it addresses the feeling of straining, the bad cord tension, and ultimately, how can we get a more consistent sound? That way we can feel more cohesive within our range. So let me get a little clearer about that. We've got 4 things that we're going to go over today. When we talk about cord tension, these 4 things are included in that, oh goodness, in that umbrella of sensation. That's the word, sensation. And they are: position of the larynx. We want the larynx to be in a nice, lowered, more stable position. That's very important. Number 2, the stretch of the vocal cords. Number 3, the resistance on the vocal cords. I'll go into each one in great detail. And then number 4, this is where we really overcompensate. We push that air pressure. So what's it going to take for us to have the perfect amount of airflow? So I'm going to leave these up on the screen so that you can see all of them. And I'm going to give you one sensation that does all 4 of these. And that is the sensation of G-A-H. Ga. So we're going to go nice and slow, and we're going to start with the position of the larynx as we do this. Go ahead and take your hands. And we're just going to run into this because we're going to get going. Go ahead and take your hand, and I really, even though it's weird, I get this all the time that it's weird to touch my larynx, but I want you to place your fingers on your larynx. And I just want you to take a few seconds just to register the feeling of openness, of just in-breath and out-breath. Feel the coolness of the air as you take the breath in, and the warmth of the air as you take your breath out. Just register that kind of stillness. Good. Now, G-A-H. Ga. Again. Ga. Good. You can feel that the tongue comes up to touch the soft palate. But even before it does that, or as it's doing that, we offer a little bit of air pressure into that vocal tract. Can you feel that? It's almost like I'm holding my breath a little bit. But as I release it, ga, there goes the larynx, dip down. Now to really feel this, if you need to, you can go ga, 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 ga. You can see the larynx kind of dipping down as it does that. We want to make sure first and foremost, this is the first dimension of the voice. Everything that we do today is going to be kind of inside of the larynx. So we've got to get really keen on the sensation. So ga, notice how there's that little dip of the larynx. Let's go ahead and try it again. Ga. Good. Again. Ga. Dips that larynx downward. Good. Now let's try to put that on a pitch. This is A. I love A. It's my resident pitch. It's my friend. So we're going to think of the A. And we're just going to release on ga that A. And we're going to hold it out. And one of the things that I want you to notice is as you release the ga on the A note, that the larynx dips down and it stays in that position for as long as you're exhaling that ga. Let's give it a go. Ga. Feel that? Good. So it's going to stay in that position. Excellent. Let's do just two more. Hear that note? Ga. Good. Ga. Good. Now we're just not worried, we're isolating the position of the larynx. We do not want intonation, meaning as we come into our sound, to include yanking up. If that larynx lifts as you come into your tone, you're going to be in trouble. The tongue and the swallow muscles, the digastric muscles, have pulled that larynx up, and that's going to collapse your vocal tract. So it's really important just to keep it very, 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 very simple. Take a few moments each day just to feel, can I feel the dip of that larynx? Good. Very good. Our second element, second dimension of the voice is the ability to feel the cords stretching. Now, I'm going to do a varying degree of different pitches. And as we demonstrate to ourselves these different pitches, we're going to notice that if we do a low note, like this A, this is your larynx. If you do a low note, it contracts this way, making the cords shorter, right? So let's go ahead and feel that, and feel as it contracts, as it gets lower, that contraction is coming closer to your finger. The contraction for the low notes happens in the front, and the extension and the pull happens towards the spine, okay? I know that's a little weird, but let's see if we can feel that. Ga. Good. Very good. Now let's do a C, middle C. Now, again, it's higher than the A, not by a great deal. Let's make this harmonic. Let me make it a good old-fashioned 1-3 interval. So C sharp. Imagine that ga comes forward. That C sharp is going to pull back. It's going to go like this, like that. But we've got to hear it and then feel as if the cords are readying themselves for that stretch before we begin the note. So let's go ahead and hear that C sharp again. Feel that stretch happening towards the spine. Ready? Here we go. Ga. Feel that stretch. It doesn't feel as contracted as ga. 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 Right? Good. Very good. that is the ability to feel the stretch of the chords. Now, what's wonderful about this GAH is that you can feel, you have the ability to feel as if the notes that you're making are an extension of your speech. Let me see if I can say that. You can talk them. Ga, 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 ga. It's like I'm talking on that pitch. You need to be able to slow this down and take your time. Okay? Let's do a couple more just to see if we can feel that difference. But let's see if we can do that. Do each one as a separate intonation. Okay? Don't try to go, ga. We'll get fancy here in just a second. But imagine that each one is a separate intonation. Feel the contraction on the low note. Ga. Feel the pull back and extension on the middle note. Ga. Pull back even more. Ga. Middle note. Ga. Low note. Ga. Good. Very good. Now let's see if we can put all three together. Keep your larynx nice and stable. You're going to have to rely on that dip of the larynx to make sure that as you go up, that the larynx doesn't pull up. We don't want it to go up. We want to keep it the same level that we intonated on. Good. Whew. Yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent. Which brings us now to number 3. Now, in accordance with Annabelle's question, this is where it's going to get a little wild, and I know that I'm just throwing this at you guys, but this is all about building around simple sensation, keeping it very elegant, very simple, applicable, and then there will be a natural evolution of your sound the better you get at it. So that leads us to vocal cord resistance. The difference between chest voice and head voice or mixed voice is how much weight your cords can resist. Now, I like to use the word weight rather than just air because the weight describes the sensation, how it feels to us, right? So if I'm up here, and that's a G, you could sing this in chest voice, you could sing this in mixed voice, you could sing this in head voice. And the way that you know that is based off of how much weight is on your cord. So if I go in head voice on a ga, ga, it's a lighter coordination. Now it's not heady. I'm not going ga. That would be heady, where the cords have lost all their tension and all you hear is this sort of air. So it's a lighter weight. Imagine we're at the gym and we're lifting lighter. But let's say my cords get stronger because I'm able to isolate this ga sensation, then singing the same exact pitch, I can recruit more muscle fiber. So that's going to feel like I'm speaking it now. So I'm going to do that. Hear that difference? Ga, ga. Gave it just a little bit more weight at the chord level. So now I'm going to give it a little bit more weight. Ga, a la belt. Yes? Makes sense? So that is all how much your cords can actually resist that air. Now, I don't want you to get too caught up on chest voice, mixed voice, head voice. Don't want you to worry about that at all. because the level that your chords are able to resist depends entirely on, well, how strong they are. And let's face it, they're just parts of your voice that we just ignore. So as we isolate them on this ga exercise, that we're going to get shakes. We're going to get those things, because our objective today is to make the chords stronger. So if that means we've got to lift lighter in order to make the chords stronger, then that's what we're going to do. Okay? So let's start. We're going to start at A, and my goal is to take us all the way to C. And I don't want you to worry about a daggone thing. I just want you to think, I'm just going to say ga. And I'm going to let my chords close in accordance with how they can. Meaning I'm not going to force them to go a lot of way. I'm not going to try to keep everything in chest voice. I'm not going to try to, none of that. Just stay as centered and as calm as you possibly can. You're going to see where there's some obvious shifts and changes, but let's do this together. Ready? Starting at let's go a little lower. Let's start at F. So let's hear that. Here we go, ready? Ga, that feels great. Ga, just keep exhaling. Now, can you feel that with each one, it's like, you feel the stretch, how much stretch is included in the onset of the sound. And you are also feeling that each note gets a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter, and a little bit lighter. Good. Feel that? Still connected to speech, isn't it? Connected to my speech. You can feel that stretch, can't you? Good. Now you're noticing that each note is getting a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. Now, right now, that's fine. That's completely fine. I want you to meditate on those funny little ombre patterns when you do like a printer test, and it tests like your cyan, your magenta, and yellow. I think that's the other one. But it starts at like a dark, let's say like magenta, and then it gets like one shade lighter, 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 one shade lighter. Each note is the one shade lighter, right? So you're gonna feel that as we get a little closer to those thinner coordinations, that there might be a particular pitch that will shake. And I don't want you to just go ahead and flip it. I don't want you to flip it into head voice. Just let it shake in the same way that you're going to the gym and you're lifting, it's like, just let it shake. Really feel the resistance that is necessary, but try to find balance within that, okay? Don't push your voice, but also don't hesitate. Reach for what's necessary. So hear that A. I could have gone, I don't want to do that. I want to find that closure, find the least amount of resistance that I can manage. Let's try that one again. Keep your jaw relaxed if you can. It's a tiny, 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 tiny little squeeze. That's what resistance is. It's a tiny, tiny little squeeze. So we don't want to go, ah. There's no squeeze in that. But we also don't want to overly resist and full on squeeze our chords. We want to use that G. G is a lovely sound that closes the chords for you without having to rely on a glottal stop. We don't want to do that. We just want to try Ga. Let's try that C one more time. Good. Very, very, very good. Now our final element is perfect air pressure. We actually don't even need to practice that one because we've actually been doing it the entire time. One of the things that is so common, especially for singers to want to try to project a kind of strength, they try to force their voices. They'll use their air pressure to overcompensate. They'll push the sound. Notice how that wasn't consistent with any of the things that we just did. We used the same little rinky-dink ga sound to accomplish four very different things. We had, press my button, the perfect laryngeal position. Larynx went down, stayed down at your onset. Then we felt that with each intonation, it required a different amount of the chords to stretch. Yes. And then we felt that as we went higher, our resistance became more and more refined. As you stay with this and practice with this, your chords will get so much stronger. And then just as a lovely component, you were containing perfect airflow the entire time because you had to continue to exhale to keep your sound going, didn't you? Good. Very, very good. Okay, so now that we've done that, now let's make it harder, shall we? This next exercise practices all the things that we just did, but we're going to make it a wee bit harder.